Hello, today we're gonna learn how combos work in Tekken 8, right? And this isn't gonna be anything character specific, this isn't a combo guide, this is to understand the system, so you can find your own combos and really get how the game works so you can be more creative yourself, right? First up, let's get things out of the way. When I mean combo, I don't just mean the combo counter going up, like strings or whatever, I mean actual, like real juggles, you know? Like something like this, for example. Combos in Tekken 8 have got a certain structure to them that you need to understand. And this structure's been very similar since Tekken 6, but it's just kind of like the middle bit that they keep changing the mechanic, but it essentially works the same. So step one, when you want to do a juggle, is you need your launcher, right? So it can be something, it's usually something that launches them in the air, that's what we call them, a launcher. It can be something like a generic down forward 2, a hop kick, you might have heard of that. It's something that sends them really high up, like this, for example, which you can follow up from. But it can be anything that lets you pick them up, even if it's really low to the ground. For example, Lee has this move, they go really far into the side, yet with the rest of my move list, I have stuff to pick them up. Right, so anything that lets you juggle them is considered a launcher. That's step one. Then I'm gonna move on straight to step 2. There's like a step 1.5 coming, but let's get to step 2. It's called the tornado spin in this game. It's very similar to Tekken 6 Bound or Tekken 7 Tailspin if you play prior entries. In your move list, you can see them as these moves with the little red symbol of the guy spinning around, right? These are your moves that cause a tailspin. I'm gonna keep calling it tailspin, but it's tornado spin in this game. So you get a big camera zoom and they get sent really high up in the air and they fall to the ground like that, right? The thing about them falling to the ground, I don't know why that side switched, is that even though they're on the ground, they stay with their legs up for a little bit and you can follow up very easily after that. So that's your tailspin. That's usually what you consider the middle of your combo. Time to move on to step 3. Once again, there's a step 2.5. We'll get to that when we get to that. But step 3, the ender. Now, as the name implies, it's going to be the end of your combo. Now, there's different ways to end your combo. You can either go for a very damaging move, like I'll show you a quick sample combo. Like this, for example, something that is going to do a lot of damage, but it's going to send them away. So you couldn't use that big damage move before in your combo because it would send them too far for you to continue. So either you go for big damage, like that, or you can go for something that is called an Oki ender. It'll do slightly less damage, but it will allow you either a guaranteed follow-up for some characters, or just the ability to dash up and keep mixing up your opponent. For example, there, after FF3, I can do much. After running 3-4, it's very easy for me to dash up and be ready for how my opponent gets up and continue the pressure. Again, this isn't a character-specific guide, so you have to find your own launchers, tailspin, and enders with your characters, but that's basically the gist of a basic combo in this game. Now, very quickly, when I said there's a 1.5 and a 2.5, these are called filler, right? Because they don't serve a specific spot. They are not necessarily necessary to the combo. But basically, after your launcher and before your tailspin, you can do a bunch of moves. Like there, I did 4 up 3 and then I did my tailspin, right? To add more damage because I can do the tailspin later. And now I'll do my tailspin. I can do a few moves before I do my ender, so that my combo has more wall carry, for example, and also more hits, usually more damage, right? So that's 1.5 and 2.5, they're just called filler. So to recap the basic form of a combo in this game, it goes launcher, filler, tailspin, filler again, ender. Now, let's put all of these together, understanding more mechanics of the game. So the more hits you put in a combo, the more the scaling goes down. You see how it says damage on the bottom left? The launcher does 100%. The first hit, 70, 50 for the third. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes down to 30 the whole time, right? So what you ideally want to do is do more damaging moves at the beginning, right? If you have to do your filler, you want to do a filler with a big move. For example, with Lee, usually your combos start with 4 up 3, because the backflip on its own does like 23, it goes to 50%, which is, I don't want to calculate it, it goes to 11 because it rounds down, right? So let me show you a normal combo with Lee, right? Something that's not too difficult, but that you would use in a real match, right? So you can see there was an awful lot of filler there. Then there's a tailspin, and there's like 1 move for filler and 1 big ender at the end, right? So that is specific to Lee, because his tailspins are not the moves that do the most damage. So if your character does a lot of damage with his tailspin, at least if there's no walls, you're gonna want to do that early. So experiment. Like I said, this is about understanding the system so you can be creative and you're not just looking up combo guides, and you can find what's good with your character, and when you see those combos, understand why they're good. Alright, now that we talked about open stage combos where the wall does not come into play, so you can just do whatever does the most damage, right? We have to start by understanding how the wall works, right? So first we have to understand the difference between a wall splat and a wall carry, right? Something that many players still don't understand, right? So a wall splat is a move where your opponent will fall forward at you. This means that if you sidestep away, you can put them back on the wall, for example, and with some characters, or actually I can do it with Lee, right? You can send them completely off the wall. But that's not what I'm gonna start by talking about. I'm gonna start talking about wall carry, because that's what you're gonna be implementing most of the time when you do a combo and then you bring them to the wall. And you can do it by just doing a move that launches them up. You see how he didn't fall forward, he fell down, he kind of slid along the wall, right? That is a wall carry. Right, so when you bring them to the wall carry state, you see how they slide down. There is a soft limit of hits you can do before they start sliding down way faster, not really allowing you to follow up anymore. There's some characters that have like some very quick strings that just keep them up on the wall till the string ends. Again, character specific. So the limit is 3 hits. See how fast they are sliding down? If I do 3 hits, they slide down a lot quicker, right? So I'll show you an example, right? If I do this, I can hit the 3 hits, no problem, because I did 2 hits into a grounded hit. We'll get into the grounded hit in a second. But if I do this, of course I drop it. Doesn't work because they slide too quick for me to do it, right? Now, there needs to be a quick difference between the high splat and the wall carry state, right? So if I send them high enough, the first hit will not count as a wall carry. It only counts when they're the same height as you. If they're higher than that, you can get some free hits in. Again, gonna be character specific. Some combos that you're gonna do are gonna send them really high up, so you'll be able to dash to the wall, do a hit before you do your whole wall combo, which is some pretty cool stuff. But then if I do this, see, I can still get my combo, and I added an extra kick because that was a high splat. And again, how did I mess that up? Doesn't work, but I did get that extra kick in, and I still got the free I still got those free kicks to work because they was the free hits from the limit. So that's what you want to work towards. Now, earlier in the open stage combo, I was talking about scaling, as in the more moves you do in a combo, less damage it does. So there's a very important thing at the wall where you can get that grounded hit, as I did with this combo. The grounded hit does 50% scaling. Even though you did like 12 million hits before and they were all like 30%, If you do that last hit, it will do 50%. So you want to save your big move, ideally for that grounded state. It's just a question of timing and something that hits low enough, right? Nothing too complicated, right? Of course, I mess it up again. And I can do like that move, and it hits for 50% instead of, if I do it normally on the wall, it was on 40% there, right? So if you can get it at the right timing, and again, you have to work within that limit of them sliding down a bit too quickly, it's that last hit that does the most damage. The really important thing about having that quote-unquote unscaled ender means that when you do your combos, you should, if you can see that the wall is close-ish, right, when you do your combo from far away, you want to always get to the wall because you'll always get more damage. First off, they can't fly away because there's a wall stopping them, so you get more hits, and you get an unscaled ender, so you can always get more damage if you reach the wall. So that's why when you do an open stage combo, you have to be aware that there might be a wall there further down the line. So you want to save your ender for that. And you might want to even modify your combo to do more hits, but nothing that would stop you from getting to that wall. Or even less hits. But as long as you get to that wall, even if you do less hits, you'll do more damage once you're on that wall. Here's an example. So you can see I took away like 50% health, even though I didn't do the full combo I could have done in the open stage. I got quite a bit less hits in, but my priority was to get the wall because I can get more damage because I have an unscaled ender. And with Lee, specifically, I get an unscaled ender into an unscaled follow-up, so I can do way more damage. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You might have seen me do, in this example, a tailspin at the wall. So the major difference between, for those of you who've played Tekken 7, you could not tailspin at the wall, because tailspin in Tekken 7 sent them away to the front, but if there's a wall, you obviously can't send them further than the wall. But in Tekken 8, it sends them up, right, as you can see. And the really important thing about that is that now you have to be more creative in your combos, because you can say, if you can save your tailspin for the wall, you're probably going to get more damage, because the tailspin helps you get further. But if you can save it for the wall, you can do even, I already told you get more damage for the wall, but if you can save your tailspin for the wall, that's even more extra damage once you get to the wall. So you really want to be aware of where you are on the stage. Are you going to need your tailspin to get to the wall, or can you save it for once you're on the wall? The really interesting thing about tailspin at the wall is it doesn't even count as a wall hit. See, I can do my tailspin and still do that combo that I did earlier. And I'll still hit the obvious limit from earlier, but I hit it at the same moment. It does not count as a wall hit, your tailspin. And if you do a 2-hit tailspin, it's obviously only the hit the tailspin. The first hit will count, right? And it can even give you a high splat. See, I did that extra kick in there, and I didn't even reach the limit. I did those 3 hits, and he didn't start falling quickly. Boom, 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 easily, right? Where that is more hits than should have happened. I did like 1 high splat, 1 tailspin at a regular size, and then I do 3 hits without him falling to the ground. Whereas if I wait and I do this, boom, 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 it hits grounded. Because the first hit was wall carry distance, the tailspin did not count, and then I did 3 hits. But since he starts falling quicker, there are some strings in the game which benefit from that. And the last hit, since he's falling faster, will be the unscaled ender. Again, experiment with your character. See if there's strings of a big ender that perhaps you can do after a tailspin so that you can manage to get that last hit without having to delay it. Sometimes it's just a question of delaying. Again, this is not a character specific guide, but now you understand the basics of wall combos. Alright, we've moved on to another stage. The reason for that is to show you when you do stage hazards like this, right? That's called a wall blast. There's also the balcony break, wall break, hard wall break, floor breaks, and whatever. It is very important to note that even if you change walls, the number of wall hits you have done is stored. You can't do like 2 hits on one wall and then another 2 hits on the other wall and not hit that 3 hit limit. So there you go. I'm gonna try and get from one wall to the next. Of course, I fail miserably in my first attempt. There you go. So I had to use my tailspin to get there, so I couldn't do the tailspin at the wall, but obviously that was way more damage. And as you saw, I could do my 3 hit limit, but if I use a combo like this, it doesn't work. He starts sliding down. So remember, when you do a stage hazard, especially one that involves the wall, and that is true of a floor break, if you do floor break and then you find the wall later on, it will store the number of wall hits. I could have also showed you maybe a few wall hits into another normal wall, but it's the same rule. That 3 hit limit is stored. I realized then I should have gone straight to character select to show you. So this is the wall bound, right? If you just scroll through the stages, you will see wall bound, wall blast, right? The difference between the two is very simple, and I'll just go into the stage and show you. Now that we are in front of the wall blast, I realize I called the wall bound the wall blast, but yeah, wall bound sends them away and you get a full combo. The difference is wall blast sends them up, but you're still kind of near the wall, so it sends them off the wall, but you still get a wall combo situation. You don't have to play Lee and do like a billion hits to get to the other wall like you did with the wall bound. That's the big difference between wall blast, wall bound, but they work essentially the same. Okay, back to character select. Then you can see floor break, hard floor break, wall break, hard wall break, and floor blast, right? I think that will be all of them, yes. So the difference between a floor break and a hard floor break, or a wall break and a hard wall break, is you will need to do a move that would break the wall or the floor twice to break it, right? Or a heat smash. A heat smash will just work. Alright, so for the hard wall break, like I said, it's 2 times. Now, see, one time you can see the wall is very damaged, a few stones went out of it, and if I do it again, it'll break, and I will get my whole combo. And then on this stage it's nice, because I can actually get the wall and do a full combo. But you can break the wall in one go, right? If you just do 2 moves that would break the wall, you can break the wall. The last thing is a heat smash will break the wall regardless. It doesn't need 2 hits. If you do the heat smash, you got it. But the thing I really want to point out is it will remember the number of hits you did within the combo, and that is even before the wall. So, and that is for every stage hazard. As you can see, even after the wall break, they start going quite far away. They start getting pushed away more and more. Okay, back to Yakushima. Now, let's talk about the heat mechanics. You know, this is Tekken 8. We have new combo mechanics to explore. Now, we have the heat burst, and once you're in heat, you can use your heat engages for heat dashes. which moves that aren't normally launchers into launchers. Now, I'm going to teach you how they work mid-combo. So, firstly, let's do Heat Burst. Heat Burst will spike the opponent down like such, which allows for you to continue in some awkward spots. For example, if I do too many hits like this, it's hard for me to continue, right? 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and I do, if I don't mess up, I do this, I can't do my tailspin, right? But if I do this, oh my god, I'm bad. Do 1-2, 1-2, back 2, and I do Heat Burst, then I can get a tailspin in a spot where I couldn't, right? And it allows you to extend in that way. And it'll even make some moves that are not launchers into launchers. Again, character specific. Lee has a very, very important one, which is this move. Normally you only get this kick guaranteed, nothing else, right? Unless there's a wall nearby, right? I can't tailspin, like nothing connects, right? He's too far. That's the only move I can do. But if I do this, Heat Burst, he's in this very awkward spot, but I can still continue. I just do my tailspin, especially since tailspin puts them back in a normal state, and I get a full combo. Again, character specific. I know Brian has one of these situations, right? So a Heat Burst can be used as an extender, right? Turn things that aren't normally combos into combos, allows you for an extra spot in order to get that wall, like I was talking about earlier. It's so important to get the wall. Sometimes you just want to pop the burst in order to be able to close the distance, get more hits in, and get that wall. Now we talk about Heat Burst, let's talk about Heat Dash. So you have to already be in heat, and you do one of the moves that does Heat Dash, you see there's a combo. Now, not all of the Heat Dash moves give you a combo. Like if I do this one, you see that they fall like kind of backwards and awkward, does not give you a combo. Like you get a free follow-up, right? Like I can do this, does a lot of damage, still pretty good. It is a combo, but again, not a juggle, which is what we're talking about. So you want to test which move does what. Now, in the air, I think they all allow you to continue, right? Like that move that sent them on the floor earlier, now just send them kind of up. And there's two types of moves. The ones that send up, and the ones that send forward, right? Like this one. They both allow you to continue. Now, the very specific thing about using those mid-combo is that as you see, the opponent goes further and further with each hit. And it sets back the combo counter by 3 hits, is what they say. Now, very simple explanation is it won't send them as far after you do the heat dash, right? So if you do this, you can get way more hits in, even hits that wouldn't normally connect, right? And earlier I struggled to get even 10 hits, and then I did 13, and I'm pretty sure I could have done more, right? So remember this when you do a heat dash, because I still see, even 2 weeks into the game and after all the betas and the demos, and I even see people who crack the game. I even seen that people doing the wrong combos after a heat dash. You can get more hits in. You don't have to tailspin straight away. Don't do your normal combo. You have to learn the new combos. Now, so you can use it as a straight launcher, you can use it in the air, and even if you've done many hits, it'll set back the counter by 3 hits. Wherever you are, if you've done like 8 hits, they start going really far. If you can somehow do a heat dash, you will go from 8 back to 5, right? So you can get way more hits in. All right, the thing about doing a heat dash, right, is the scaling. We saw earlier it was like 100, then 50, then 40, then 30, and then it just kept on to 30. But if you do a heat dash, you see it's 100, 49, 35, 28, 21, 21. And it stays at 21, right? So you'll get more aggressive scaling. So each move you do will end up doing less damage. So you want to keep that in mind when you go for your heat dash mid combo. So if you can do your big moves, right, before you heat dash, you can enjoy how strong these moves are more. You'll get more damage out of each move because they'll do more damage before you've done your heat dash. So your heat dash is your extender more for wall carry when you use it like that. It's more useful in that regard. You can get more hits, so more damage, but wall carry is really where heat dash mid combo shines. Also, that scaling I talked about is applied on heat burst as well, so I almost forgot to say that. Now you might be thinking, well, this is already overwhelming. Can't you just use Tailspin plus heat burst plus heat dash plus all this and you'll get the wall? Even on this stage, Yakushima is like 128 miles away, the wall, right? The thing is, you can't do a heat dash that allows for a combo, a real combo extension after a heat burst. Now let me show you, right? As you saw, if I do heat dash here, I can pick up with whatever I want, right? But if I do heat burst and then heat dash, my opponent is on the floor and I get an unscaled hit, kind of like at the wall, right? So as I'll show you, I cannot pick up, right? Like the back two won't work. Even this string, which is just 2 hits, it'll count as a grounded hit. You get a free grounded hit, which is a good way to end rounds, right? If you see your combo is not quite gonna kill, like you just do a basic combo like that, and you go, oh damn, that's not gonna kill. Just do this, does a lot of damage, and you do your ender, fairly easy, right? It again gonna be character specific, and you just get that one wall hit. Now, quick asterisk, some characters can pick up from that state, but they can only pick up from certain moves, right? It's not character specific that, oh, this guy has a better heat dash. No, like for example, Paul has 2 kicks that hits in quick succession and very low to the ground, so the first hit will hit grounded and the second will pick him up, right, allowing for some extra extension. You might have seen some Kazuya combos where he hits the guy and then he hits the ground and it explodes under him, so the explosion works and picks them up, right? Character specific. I don't have one with Lee, just trust me on that, but in theory you get a grounded hit. All right, now that you got the gist of how to combo, how to wall combo, and how to do heat, this is the end of the video. I'm gonna show a few niche things that I might have glossed over, forgot to mention earlier, or whatever. But these are things that don't come up as often. First of all, I'm gonna show you that heat dash into a pickup. Kazuya is a good character to do it with. It's pretty easy, so that's why I picked that one. Do this, and you boom, boom, and you see it picks up. So if there was a wall a bit further, you could have got the wall. Alright, there's a few extra wall states I didn't talk about. I'm putting them at the end of the video because they're really not as important. They don't show up quite as often. But there's, first off, the back turn wall splat. So they got their stomach against the wall like that, and you just can't follow up with as many hits. You see 1, 2, 4 doesn't work, down forward 3, 2, 3 doesn't work. You can still tailspin from that state, right? If you do one of those tailspins that sends far, they're gonna hit the wall. But I know Lee has a good option. You can do up back 3, and then I can do whatever, a quick follow-up. But you don't get as much. What you want to do in these situations, if you can, is sidestep into the wall so you can get them off and get a proper combo. That's usually what you want to do. Not every character is very good at it. Not every back turn wall splat is going to allow for that. But that's kind of what you want to do. Right, if there's a back turn wall splat, there's also a side splat, right? They're just kind of awkwardly on the wall. With these, usually it's a lot easier to sidestep and do something. With most characters, I think you can sidestep either direction and get something. And both side splats are the same. And it's kind of like a back turn splat, where you're not going to get as many hits, but it's a lot easier to follow up. So I wanted to mention those. Quick extra funny thing, if you can wall splat with a heat engager, it doesn't really matter what position they're in. because of the heat engager animation, you will be able to get a normal wall splat. See, I'm back turned, I do the heat engager version, and I get my regular wall combo. So that is worth noting. If they're in a weird position, wall splat with a heat engager. Alright, this is the actual end of the video. So, if you enjoyed the content, if you found this guide informative, you know, subscribe, hit like, do all that good stuff. If you have any questions, if there's anything you think I didn't mention, please make sure to tell me in the comments. And yeah, I will be trying to make more guides like this. I will also try to make some like straightforward combo guides where I just give you inputs and you can do it, whatever. But now that you have this, you shouldn't need them as much. So on that note, guys, take care of yourselves. I'll be back in the next video.